Alrighty, I have a construction update for you guys today, but first, let's get right to what's on the screen. Right there is some steel structure for either the transfer track part of the or storage shed area inside the mount, or the station building around the building. So some steel structure has started to show up. Again, that is either for inside the mountain, related to AlpenFury, or the station. In terms of AlpenFury and the track area, if you have a look here, we are running out of supports for them to install. And that brings up a really important topic of discussion. So Walter's group has done a fascinating job on assembling this coaster really quickly. As someone that's watched them, they can get 4 to 6 pieces of anything installed. And they do it very quickly, and it's just it's insane. I've seen this parking lot go from full in this section to barely anything in it. And that brings up the topic of discussion, where are our track pieces and our supports? If this coaster was planned so far in advance, where are these pieces that were or should already be well under production? So that obviously brings the point that this coaster is very last minute. I stand by that. I know that, and that's what it is. But let's head on inside the park. And as you can see, they're digging up this big section here. Now, this is either going to be some sort of theming element or just a part of the electrical upgrades and water upgrades around the park. I know the park is doing some massive upgrades to its plumbing and water system inside the park. There was, from what I understand, actually, never mind. But yes, they're doing some upgrades to the plumbing around the park. They're finishing off this little section for the footings for that first element after the launch. So that's what that water excavation is for. And that's why they've avoided that section for the time being, because there's still some work to do in that area. Now, in the early morning, because I like to film a whole story for you guys, they were getting ready to assemble these track pieces right here. So they were able to install 4 track pieces today. So a very successful day. As you can tell, they're able to use the cherry pickers to install the support structure, but they need the crane to install the track pieces. So that is why we are seeing the crane disappear a lot. They don't need it all the time. So, in fact, they need it hardly at all. So they've been able to obviously save some money on rental and use the cherry pickers with the crane attachment to do that. So that's some scaffolding that you see it lifting right there. That is obviously to go inside the mountain, or they are done using it inside the mountain. I assume that it's to go inside the mountain because the launch tunnel is being built currently. But yeah. What you're about to see is the foundation that they're getting ready to pour. So they're laying down the perimeter of the station that will enclose a lot of this ride, including leading you all the way to the gift shop. So where you see that orange tarp is essentially where that exit gift shop is going to be, whether it ends up being the gift shop or the lockers. I have been hearing potentially that Wonderland could be switching to what all the other parks use, that we could be seeing lockers popping up inside the park. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. But as you can see here, they did get a lot of support structure in for AlpenFury, so the area is definitely looking a lot more full. As you can see, they've gotten a lot of those weirder supports, the lower to the ground supports in. So that's pretty fascinating as well. Definitely waiting to see more supports arrive in that parking lot before we can see any further construction happening. And that's probably why they've switched back to doing some track. So from my understanding, how they were supposed to build this coaster is they were supposed to go in and do a lot of the supports and then work their way back and then do the track. So it was a little lengthier of an install, but that is just how this coaster needs to be built. It definitely appears that track from Utah and the supports from Utah are taking a little longer to arrive. So that might be affecting the build process as well. Because if I'm going to be honest with you guys, speaking figuratively from my opinion, if all the track and supports were in that parking lot right now, from what I've witnessed firsthand watching from morning till the end of the day, Walter's group would be able to complete this coaster by the end of February, truthfully. Honestly, if everything was here, I fully suspect that all track and supports could be completed by the end of February if everything was here. So that's the scary part. That is what's holding back this construction project. As you can see here, that orange tarp, this is where the gift shop is supposed to be, and that's where you'll exit, and you can kind of see that area. And they're using fencing to protect the tree in that area as well. There's a lot of facelift going on, so they've been working on Tiny Toms as well. So their work has been going on inside there. I don't know if it's going to remain a Tiny Toms or if it's going to change to something else, but there are some third-party contractors in that area working on a lot of the structures. Now, this is where I'm going to tell you guys to go follow me on Patreon. We are able to post a lot more on there, and there are some other areas of the park that are receiving facelifts right now that I'm not allowed to show you on YouTube. That does come from my agreement with Canada's Wonderland. I know a lot of people are saying I'm lying about that, but anyone else covering Wonderland can vouch that there are things we are not allowed to cover. So I am only allowed to show you guys Mindbuster and AlpenFury and things that the park has announced themselves. Anything outside of that, I'm not allowed to show you guys on YouTube. So definitely head on over to Patreon. There'll be a construction update either tonight, later tonight, or tomorrow morning that shows you guys some of those facelifts occurring around the park, because there is some exciting stuff. As you can see, they're further digging out that trench there. The coaster, I believe, will start vertical in that area as well, because we have to wait over around the south side of that mountain before they can continue construction there. I'm not quite sure we'll see vertical construction with track here, but who knows? Again, we are waiting on a lot of other pieces. So I wanted to do a zoomed out shot for you guys to show you just the pure magnitude of this coaster so far. And it hasn't even nearly made its way over to Extreme Skyflyer. So it definitely stands out with the color. I must say I'm not too big of a fan of the blue on blue. I wish the track was white, to be honest, but oh well. But yeah, anyways, thanks so much for watching today's construction update. Stay tuned for a Mindbuster update, because that's really exciting as well. But yeah, thanks so much, guys. Have a good one. Bye.